So this week we learned a lot about the future of what Spider-Man is going to be doing in the MCU with Tom Holland's version, but that's not all. We have more hints towards a possible Spider-Man 4, and I'm not talking about the Tom Holland Spider-Man 4, I'm talking about the OG Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. Yes, the film that got canceled to make way for Andrew Garfield's debut. There are rumors that this movie could actually happen, and we're going to dive into all of that, but before we get started, guys, we are closing in on 1,000 subs. I seriously cannot believe it. If you're watching this video, I personally want to thank you. If you could click that like button and subscribe on your way out, it would mean so much to me. Let's get into all the news regarding Spider-Man and Spider-Man 4 for and not in the MCU. So the first big piece of news that came out today is that Jon Watts is not going to be directing the future Spider-Man film for the MCU. Jon Watts directed the 3 Spider-Man movies for the MCU so far, and he will not be returning for the 4th one, and this is actually really great news in my opinion. Not because he's a bad director, but because of what this means internally between Sony and Marvel. We heard a while ago that Sony and Marvel were kind of fighting over the fate of Spider-Man 4 and what this film was going to be about. Sony wants it to be another multiversal film that rides on the coattails of Spider-Man No Way Home in the Across the Spider-Verse animated movie, while Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige want this movie to be more ground level, kind of leading off the ending of No Way Home. I think most fans, including myself, are excited about the aspect of the multiverse and the Spider-Verse, but we're ready for a street level Spider-Man story. Interactions with Kingpin, interactions with Daredevil, and just a story that doesn't deal with the greater cosmic Marvel universe. That's what No Way Home sets up at the very end, and Peter Parker is now officially just Spider-Man. It would just feel kind of cheap if they were to bring back Andrew and Tobey in the Spider-Verse again for another sequel. It would feel like a cop-out, and while we would want to see that, and it is very exciting to bring these heroes back, I don't think it would be earned. At least not yet. Let's save it for something like Secret Wars. Sony wanted Jon Watts back to do another multiverse story, and people said if Sony did not bring Jon Watts back and it was going to be another director, it meant possibly that Marvel Studios had won the fight over what Spider-Man 4 is going to be, and now we know Jon Watts is not returning, therefore Spider-Man 4 probably met some middle ground between Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures. This gets me really excited because some elements may still contain the multiverse elements that we've seen in previous multiverse saga stories, but I want the main bulk of this story to be a ground level Marvel hero story. In my opinion, I think Sony should just let Marvel Studios do their thing. I mean, we see what's going on with their universe. I know they possibly want to bring in Kraven the Hunter, Venom, Madam Web, and all of these other characters from their universe to fight Tom Holland, but people are just not vibing with it. I think the only one people really care about is Tom Hardy's Venom transferring over into the MCU, but in No Way Home, in the post-credit scene, he does go to the MCU but gets pulled out. So I don't know what their plan was there, but it looks like they maybe weren't ready, but at the same time, we do see that a piece of the Venom symbiote is left in the MCU, presumably for Tom Holland's Peter Parker. It would be fantastic if this street-level Marvel movie ties into the greater multiverse story by using the symbiote leading into Secret Wars. We all know that the origin of the black suit comes from the Secret Wars story, so I think it's a great tie-in. And again, I just think Sony should let Marvel Studios carry the reins of Peter Parker's Spider-Man for the foreseeable future. But that doesn't mean Sony can't do its own thing. We just heard from Sam Raimi this week that he is down to do Spider-Man 4, and he knows the fans want it, he wants it, and he said there's a right time for it. This actually connects with an interview that Thomas Hayden Church did, who played Sandman in No Way Home and the original Spider-Man 3, saying that they're going to bring Tobey back and Sam Raimi was going to do a Spider-Man 4 film. I think this would be an easy $1 billion for Sony. Of course, I want to see it, and it's interesting because they're also re-releasing all of the Spider-Man films in theaters for the 100th anniversary of Columbia. Down in the comments, let me know if you'd like to see a Spider-Man 4 film, and it's weird because you have 2 Spider-Man 4s. Do you call the Tobey Maguire one Spider-Man 4, or do you call the Tom Holland one Spider-Man 4? I don't know. But I don't think audiences would be confused if we got 2 Spider-Man. Heck, we even saw 3 Spider-Man in No Way Home. It's a sweet spot for Sony, and I think they're just missing the mark, and they should attach onto this hype for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, leading possibly into Secret Wars, where he's rumored to have even a leading role. Now, what Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire could possibly be about, that's a story for another video, but right now we're just talking about the possibilities in the future of this character. I think that would be the better route for Sony to go after the success of No Way Home without tarnishing Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but having another Spider-Man who is guaranteed to be a success. Also, Sam Raimi being a director for Marvel Studios with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and possibly another film in the future, it would just add up. Overall, I'm just happy that Marvel Studios seems to be going with the grounded level street hero story for Spider-Man 4, including Daredevil, including Kingpin. I would personally like to see Matt Gargan's Scorpion return from Spider-Man Homecoming. I think it's a villain that they could really utilize, especially with the storyline of Wilson Fisk becoming mayor of New York City. Also, I'm just very excited to see all the Spider-Man movies in theaters again. I never got to see the first 2 Tobey Maguire movies in theaters, but I did see the third one, I think, on my my 5th birthday, and it's my guilty pleasure movie. I love that movie so much, so I can't wait to see it on the big screen. Once again, guys, if you could hit that subscribe button, like the video, it would mean so much to me, and I will see you all very, very soon.